Building in Russia, how much does it cost and what does the process look like? Lucky for you, we've been making these videos following my friend's build on the shores of Lake Baikal. We have taken you from the very beginning, from nothing to what it is now. In these little clips, you get to see exactly what kind of work we've been dealing with. And we've been giving you the prices from the very beginning so that you know how much things cost. Please stay tuned in this video because in the end, I'm going to be talking about the two most expensive things that have taken part in this build. And by the way, if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe and support the channel. We're on our way to 90,000 subscribers. Let's get it going. We are back, and today we're going to be looking at more progress that has been done on the project behind me. A lot of you guys like to see how people build in Russia, so this is essentially the continuation of that episode. Last time we were here, the lake was not even frozen. As you can see behind me, Baikal has finally froze, and well, the views are spectacular even when it's not frozen and even when it is frozen. This location is sitting in the town of Kultuk. It is above the lake on a hill, and this is why the views are so spectacular. Now today we're going to be looking at some of the finished walls and the flooring that has been done. We're going to see if the floor is warm now, because last time we were here we were installing the pipes that were on the floor, and we were also laying the concrete that would be the floor itself. So let's check out the rooms now. Now I've returned, and the top floor is the last floor, obviously, because it takes a lot of time to work on the top. But as you can see, I showed you that they would finish the interior here. This is going to be the bathroom area where they have the toilet and the sink, and inside will be the shower. You're going to get to see a cleaner version of this. This is the last room. The walls are not even done on the top floor, but they will be done. To give you an example of what that's going to look like, we're going to go downstairs, but I want you to see the raw version of what this looks like, the process. This is the first stage. So just take a look at the ground, take a look at the materials that they're using, the different tools, and scope out the walls, how they're not done yet. Just check it out. Now this is a more complete version of what we're going to be expecting from the top. This room is going to be white, but it's going to be coated with a pearly design on top. Another thing is that this wall behind here, this entire wall, is going to be outfitted with a custom-made painting. It's going to be like a painting about Lake Baikal. So when you're staying here, you're going to have Lake Baikal behind you as you sleep, and you're going to be having Lake Baikal in front of you out that big window and door. The ground here is already laid. It's cleaned, and it has the grout in. So this is a finished product minus the molding on the side, and there is still some things on the wall that have to be cleaned off. But these things get cleaned off fairly easy. You take one of these dry brushes here and simply scrape over and they come off. And here's an example of how easy it is to take these things off. You simply scrape on top, the top layer falls off, right? Some things may be taking more time, but the entire wall is going to be cleaned off, and the molding will block this bottom part. There's not going to be any issues. This is the white room. Now outside, I had to put this jacket on because outside it's about -20 degrees. This is what I'm wearing outside. We were recording, showing you Lake Baikal, but in here I can take my jacket off, I can walk, you know, touching the floor, and it's actually, it's not overwhelmingly hot to where you can't walk on it, but it's warming up the entire room. We showed you how the process goes. We showed you the concrete. This is the final stage. And let's go and show you what the bathroom is looking like now in a finished room, without the toilet, of course, and the sink. It's all going to come together. These buildings, they came with the piping already here. So here's going to be the toilet, there's going to be the sink pipe, and this is where they're getting their water from. The bathroom, for the most part, is going to be this room, and behind me will be the shower. It's filled with tools, but this is bathroom, toilet, sink, and shower. And the main room is where we were recording earlier. This is a complete room. So if you're wanting to see good views here in Lake Baikal, when this room is done, you can come and visit us and you can stay here. Now we're inside the gray room. The white room is not the main room. The gray room is the main room, and the top room, the walls are gonna have a wallpaper. But in the gray room, I wanna show you that this is the main control room for the water heating. As you can see, we have electric plugins. They're scattered all over this room for people's convenience for when they stay. But the most important thing that you need to know is that every single room that we've been in is powered by the gray room. That has that water that runs under the rooms. It starts here and it pushes it out to every other room. Just to remind you, we were here when there was no tile and there was no concrete. So if you remember correctly, there were these hoses that were on the ground, and then they pushed pink liquid on them. That is what's heating the floor, and what's heating every other room starts here. So let's take a look at the main control. Here you can see the motherboard again. All of this is electric ran, and the last remnants of that pink liquid is right here. It shoots into the floor and it's controlled here, and it pushes it into this room, but it also pushes it into the next room and the top room. This is the main control. All of the piping here is running with warm liquid, and that is the liquid that is warming the floor. This is a technology that people in this area use. Let me know down below, again, if this is something that you guys do in your country. Do you heat the floors with this liquid, or you do it just with electricity stuff, or you burn wood? I don't know, because here we have this motherboard heating 3 units. Here, again, in the gray room, there's going to be a painting behind the beds. Now, the layout will be, there will be a bed here in this area. So remember, you're going to have a scenic art piece behind you as you sleep, and you will be looking at Lake Baikal in the front. And we hope to return when this is done so you can see what kind of images they put. If you remember, when I talked about the modules, I said that one room controls all of them. So the heating starts in the gray room. I mentioned that the gray room has the hoses expanding from its room all the way up to the second floor and into the white room, which is next to it. This is a way of conserving cost and making sure that everything is controlled from one place. Now, the cost for all of the materials, all of the floor work, and everything finished for the 3 modules has been 300,000 rubles. We have been lucky enough to be able to look at the project with Alexei, my friend who is building these sites next to the lake. You saw these are fantastic views, and he is sharing with us the prices. The conversion rate is going to be on the screen for the overall work for, listen, all 3 modules. This is the cost for all of them. In the future, we will be making a video breaking down everything in sections for you guys who want to build a smaller house or build a small dacha, okay? But right now, the floor, the cement, the hoses, all the big projects, the work is 300,000 rubles for the floors. And it makes me curious because I've asked you guys, how do you heat your housing? How is the heating in your housing? Because the flooring is not only what you step on in this project, the flooring is actually also the way that these rooms are heated. So you have to think, it is not only the cost to being able to walk on tile, but it is the cost to have a heated room for all three of them. In my opinion, it is a very, very good way of heating a house, and I think that the cost is very much worth it. So please comment below what you think, how much the price is compared to what the outcome is. Also, let me know how you guys heat your houses wherever you're watching from. Moving on to the second biggest part of the project, which is the roof and the balcony area. You saw us go to the lumber yard. We picked out the best lumber for the project. Here in Russia, there's very good wood, and actually we had the advantage of having the wood in the same town, so we didn't have to travel far for it. Now, when they were doing the job, we saw it happen in sections. Before we arrived, there was nothing on the roof. It was just a flat top module. But as we visited more often, you know, the roof was taking form, the balcony was taking form, and the overall cost for labor and having the roof done was $250,000. It is very important to note that a roof in Siberia is probably the second most important thing after heating, because you will have to deal with a lot of snow, you will have to have a lot of wind, and recently we've been having roofs flying off. So a roof that is built right will ensure that your home is safe and in a healthy way. Now, the roof, like I said, was $250,000. Is this a number that you expected? And remember, with the roof comes the balcony area and the wood. So those are the prices for the floor and the roof. Now I just want to give you an overall summary of what it's been like shadowing this project. So the total cost of the work done in the video is $6,500 roughly. Is this an amount that you think that Russians can afford? Because a lot of people say that Russians are poor, that Russians cannot afford to build anything. Well, is this a price that you think is normal where you come from? Do you think it's normal for Russia? Now that we've gone over those prices, I want to talk a little bit more about my project, because I haven't forgot about it and I will mention it later, but I want to talk about the things that are going to cost me the most money. The layout that you see is something that was done by a subscriber of mine named Beardy. He has helped us draw out and plan out our dream house. This is Ksenia's dream house, and this is what we're going to be building. Now, the thing that is going to cost us the most money is the roof and the foundation. We're looking at about $1 million per. And we're just estimating, right? I don't know how much I'm gonna pay yet, but people have estimated that it's gonna cost $10,000 for the foundation, a solid foundation, and $10,000 for the roof. I have recently done work to get ready to even dig for the foundation. I've brought in heavy machine operators to come dig out old foundation that was already there, and we're just getting the dirt ready to be worked on. I believe that another thing that's going to cost a lot is obviously the building material. Now, we're going to be building my home out of aerated concrete blocks, and this is probably the best way to build here in my opinion, because I don't want to build out of wood. I want to build something that is going to be easier to handle for putting things, insulation and all of these things, maintaining it. I've never owned a wooden house, so I'm just going to go with the aerated concrete block. And a lot of Russians actually say that this is the way to go. I've spent about $3,500, and the majority of that is just my gate and fence. I have an electric gate. It's 6 meters wide. It's very good. And I've done a lot of miscellaneous things here and there, paying for wood to finish one side of my wall. I've also paid for trash to get taken out. But this is an update on my build. As some of you may know, this is the third installment of this project, and I have to say I'm motivated for my own work. I've learned a lot from Alexei. He's been kind enough to let us in and, just like I said, shadow everything they're doing. Because of this project, I now understand the different things that I have to do for my home. I want to give you guys an update on my house project this year. In about 2 months, we're going to be digging for the foundation. And this is, again, a very important thing because you want your house to be stable. Foundation, floor, and roof, very, very important things. And when I say the floor, I mean also the heating, because you know that's how they do it. Please leave any questions, suggestions, or any worries that you may have in the comment section. Join our Telegram. It's going to be linked down below, The Russian Experience. That's how you get a hold of me, and that's how you get more connected with the community. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.